What's going on, guys? Today we're going to do a video on adverbs, but I have to also keep an eye on Kel's Brazilian carrot cake. Trying to make a Brazilian carrot cake where they actually blend up all the carrots instead of putting like grated pieces in, and then they make brigadeiro, which is like this chocolate sauce that goes on the top. It's going to be amazing. She's nicked off to the shops, but I have to keep an eye on that whilst I do this video. Okay, so I want to do a video today on adverb placement. Now, the problem with adverbs is quite often they can go in many different places, right? At the beginning of a sentence, at the end of a sentence, after the verb, if it is the verb to be, before all other verbs. There are lots of these rules. I don't really want to go through that with a fine-tooth comb today, but I want to talk about some general sort of patterns that I think will help you guys, especially with very, very, very common adverbs, okay? So these are adverbs like only, always, often, rarely, probably. My God, the amount of Brazilians and Spanish speakers who put this at the start of a sentence, no more. After this video, no more of that. Sometimes, quickly, also, never, really, almost, already. Okay, so those are the main adverbs that I'm talking about today. And the basic rule, before we even get started, the basic rule with these is that if you want to sound as close as possible to a native speaker, the preferable position is before the main verb. Okay, the verb that adverb is affecting, not the auxiliary verbs. And if there's no auxiliary verb between that verb and the pronoun. Okay, so I've got some sentences here. We'll go through them and talk about them. We'll sum up. But yeah, basically, there is no hard and fast rule like this adverb always needs to go in this place. You can play with them and put them in different positions. People will always understand as long as the adverb is somewhere near the primary verb that you're using that adverb on, right? If you say a long sentence of 50 words and then put the adverb at the end, it's not really clear which verb it's affecting, okay? So anyway, the very first sentence is, I go to the shops. I go to the shops. Go is the primary verb there. So if we can put any of these adverbs into that sentence, the most natural position for me is after I and before go, okay? But I know that a lot of people will place it after go, they'll put it before I, and so it gets confusing, but the main thing is before that primary verb, okay? So I only go to the shops. I always go to the shops. I often go to the shops. I rarely go to the shops. I probably go to the shops. You might need a bit more on that sentence, once a week. I sometimes go to the shops. I quickly go to the shops. I also go to the shops. I never go to the shops. I really go to the shops. I almost go to the shops. I already go to the shops. So you need to get used to that pattern. I, and then the adverb, and then the main verb. Okay? Simple enough. That tends to be the pattern with those adverbs, at least, that I will rely on. I will always put those adverbs directly before that primary verb. So what happens, it can get confusing when you've got sentences that have auxiliary or modal verbs in those sentences, right? So next sentence, I am thinking about chocolate. I am thinking about chocolate. So remember, we need to put that adverb before the primary verb. What's that? Thinking, right? Thinking. I'm only thinking about chocolate. I'm probably thinking about chocolate. I'm also thinking about chocolate. That's the most natural position. I'm is an auxiliary verb, and then the adverb before the primary verb or the main verb that is being affected by that adverb. Thinking, also thinking, always thinking, only thinking, probably thinking. Spanish speakers and Brazilian speakers, I am probably thinking about chocolate. Next sentence, I have seen the movie. I have seen the movie. So which of these verbs, have or seen, is the auxiliary verb? Have. Seen is the primary verb, the main verb there, okay? So if we put any of these adverbs in, where do they go? After have, before seen. I have only seen that movie twice. I have always seen that movie. I have probably seen that movie. I have also seen that movie. I've never seen that movie. That's the most natural position there. Next sentence. I can surf on weekends. I can surf on weekends. Can is a modal verb. It goes before surf. Surf is the primary verb. I can only surf on weekends. I can probably surf on weekends. I can sometimes surf on weekends. I can almost surf on weekends. That doesn't make as much sense though. All right, next one. I don't eat junk food. So there's already an adverb in here. Not, right? Do not. I don't eat junk food. And look where not is. It's before the primary verb there. I do not eat junk food. Where do we put any of the adverbs if they're going in there? They go before eat. Do is an auxiliary verb. Not is an adverb that's going with do there and that's affecting eat. And then the other adverbs go before eat. I don't only eat junk food. I don't quickly eat junk food. I don't also eat junk food. Some of these are going to sound a bit weird because if you're negating the sentence, some of these adverbs won't necessarily make sense, right? I don't probably eat junk food sounds like a weird sentence. Next one. I would play the game. Would is a modal verb. I would probably play the game, right? It's after would. I would probably play the game. It's before play. I would probably play the game. I'd only play the game. I'd always play the game. I'd sometimes play the game. I'd quickly play the game. So again, after the modal verb, before the primary verb, the adverb there can go in. I used to love reading. I used to. In the past, as a habit, I used to love reading. I used to always love reading. I used to often love reading. I used to rarely love reading. I used to never love reading, okay? Used to, adverb, love, okay? Next one, I will have changed my mind. So we've got two auxiliary verb, modal verbs in there, right? We have I will, modal verb, and we have auxiliary verb, and then we have change, the past participle, the primary verb. I will have changed my mind. So where do we put those adverbs? After will, after have, after both of those, and before changed. I will have only changed my mind. I will have probably changed my mind. I will have almost changed my mind. And you will often hear will have contracted onto the pronoun. I'll have probably changed my mind. I'll have often changed my mind. I'll have also changed my mind. I'll have never changed my mind. The very last sentence here, guys, is I had 3 cups of coffee before lunch. So I had, right? We have had acting as an auxiliary verb, I believe, in here. And we have had again as the past participle, right? I think that's right. I could be wrong. So I had 3 cups of coffee before lunch. So we're putting this in the past. So where would these adverbs go? They would go before the second had in the past participle, the primary verb there. The other had is an auxiliary verb, which is going in front. I had only had 3 cups of coffee before lunch. I had probably had 3 cups of coffee before lunch. I had never had 3 cups of coffee before lunch. Okay, so this, I hope, is a really good video that gives you a sense of where to place these more common adverbs in these sentences, right? Because it does sound very unnatural to me and it kind of sticks out when speakers put them in the wrong position. It's a very quick tell that you're not a native speaker, okay? When you put them in uncommon positions. They're not wrong positions, they're just uncommon, so we're not used to hearing it, right? It would be like you saying, I will have my mind changed. You're putting the object in a weird position, so we understand, but it sounds like Yoda from Star Wars, right? So Spanish speakers and Brazilian speakers, I love you guys. Don't start sentences with probably. And that goes for anyone else who also makes that mistake. But I know that in Spanish and Portuguese, you can start a sentence with probably, I will do this. Probably I like this. Probably this, right? It sounds very strange. You know, if you start these sentences, always I go to the shop. Only I am thinking about chocolate. Probably I have seen the movies. Quickly, I used to love reading. It sounds very strange if you do that with quite a lot of these adverbs. Anyway, I'm rambling. I hope this video helps, guys. It's more just an exercise for you to see what I'm thinking as a native speaker. Yeah, I think we'll finish up there. I hope you enjoyed it, and I would love to see you write a sentence down below using any of these adverbs and make up your own sentence and see if you can place that in the right position. Where does it go? Before the primary verb. Okay, with that, guys, I'll see you soon. Peace out. All right, so it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Kel was pretty annoyed. She's like, don't let it burn, don't let it burn. But I don't think I managed to let it burn. And I was just testing it with this stick. Look at that, it's come out pretty clean. So I think it is finished. It's gonna look good when it's done. Kelly's taking the top off. She's flipping it out. Here we go. Oh, what a master chef. Oh, look at that, Kelly. Look at that. Are you pumped?
Yeah, now I'm happy.
You're pretty excited? You thought it was going to be bad?
No, because the first one was ridiculous.
She made one this morning and it was without self-raising flour, so it did not look like this. Okay, so what are you doing here? You chop the top off it?
I'm just making it even.
Level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Just so we have...
Shotgun. That's mine. That's mine. Okay, Sukara. That's pretty good.
It is good.
Oh my god, that's really good. Go for it. Yeah, on this side.
Oh my god.
So the middle is filled with Brigadeiro. Wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
It's like a swimming pool. Look at this.
It's all liquid. Here it comes. As soon as she removes this piece, it's gonna go blah. Oh. Oh. Here we go. Here we go.
We imagine if nothing happened.
I know, anticlimactic.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, avalanche! So you're happy with the creation? Did it turn out okay?
Yeah, I think it's alright.
Woohoo!